Want to know how we doubled this e-commerce store's conversion rate without spending a dime on ads? It wasn't through some fancy AI tool or a complete website overhaul. It was just through 5 dead simple CRO tweaks that literally took less than an hour to implement. These changes are so simple that you'll be kicking yourself for not doing them sooner. In fact, one of our other clients used just one of the techniques shared from this video and generated an incremental $42,000 per month in revenue. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 CRO gold mines and hand it to you on a silver platter. These are battle-tested tweaks that have literally generated millions for our clients. So if you're ready to stop leaving money on the table and generate some serious ROI, stick around. Okay, so the first tweak is as easy as it gets, but it's often overlooked. And contrary to what you would think, it's not about actually adding elements to your store, but it's the opposite. It's removing items. So we often use the paradox of choice, which is when you give people too much choice, it equals no choice at all. In other words, less is more. Just take, for example, you go to a restaurant, you have a menu, and you have all these different options, right? You have the desserts, you have the appetizers, you have the main menu, and you're trying to think, what do I go for, right? Do I go for something that's new? Do I go for the popular item? There's just too many options to choose from, and it just makes that decision a lot harder. And the website is pretty much the same thing, right? When you have a cluttered navigation, when you have too many elements on the page, you just don't know where to start your journey, and you just have too many options present, and you don't really know where to go. So to address this and to remove distractions, I want you to do 2 things. The first thing is using a tool like UserBrain, which is a remote testing tool. So you could actually test your website with your target demographic and do the 5-second test, which is basically where you ask them, what are your first impressions upon landing on my website? Are they saying that the website's too overwhelming? Are they saying that there's too many elements on the page? Is it cluttered? Do they not know where to make a decision? If so, that's where you reevaluate your hierarchy of information and your entire design. The second thing is using a tool like Hotjar or Microsoft Clarity and simply just looking at heat map data to see where are people clicking, where are they not clicking, and then how can you redesign and basically transform the elements on the page and evaluate which ones need to be there and which ones don't, right? To kind of streamline that decision experience. So here's a real life example. This is part of a audit report that we do for all of our CRO clients. And on the product page of the store, what we noticed over here is that all of the elements in and around the add to cart button, the vast majority of these were not even getting clicks, right? When we looked at Clarity, you can see there's 0.21% of clicks on some elements. The buy now button got 0.08% of clicks because this is a $1,600 product. So nobody's just going to click buy now straight away, right? They're going to typically add to cart. There's some other clickable elements in and around this area that just literally got, like you can see here, less than 1% of clicks. So this really begged the question, do we even need all of these elements present on the page? So what we did was we removed all of those unnecessary elements and replaced them with things that would actually help the end user in making a decision. You can see the before and after version here. And this was just one of the many changes that we made following that whole notion of paradox of choice and getting rid of distractions. And this led to a 60% plus increase in monthly online orders. The next tweak is focusing on your navigation. Just last week, I was asked by a prospect, what's kind of the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your website, right? Where do you focus your efforts first? And what I always recommend, the first place to start is a navigation, right? If you have no historical data, because that is literally what dictates whether somebody will go to the product that they want and will they ultimately convert. And one of the ways to make the navigation experience super intuitive and more engaging is adding visuals to your navigation. The human brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. So when people see visuals, they tend to resonate with that a lot more than just text on a page. It doesn't just have to do with your navigation. It basically goes for everything else on your website as well. If you look at asos.com, right, when you go to their navigation, you can see they've leveraged that principle of visuals and they put photos of each of these thumbnails right next to the items, right? So I'm not just reading through text. It just adds another level of engagement and then incentivizes me to click through further and helps me actually find the product that I need as well, right? When you look at Obvi, they do the exact same thing, right? Instead of just boring text, they have visuals next to each of their navigation items, which again, just helps make me make a decision a lot faster. So here's a real life example for one of our clients where on this before version, you can see that they just have text, right? There's nothing visual, there's nothing engaging about this experience, right? And what we ran as an A/B test was we added those icons and those visuals to the page. So as you scroll through, you can see visuals of the product. This led to a 60.72% increase in the conversion rate and a 92% increase in the revenue per visitor. The other thing I recommend testing thing is not everyone's going to click on the navigation menu, and that's what Giant Teddy understood. So what they did is they put these social media icons at the top of their website, right? This is basically just another form of the navigation menu, and it allows you to quickly click through and go to one of the products on their site, right? Or one of the collection pages. This is something that we tested with Parcel Safety as well, because we noticed that people were clicking on the collection pages further down on the page, but there was no way to access this without clicking on the navigation. So we added these social media icons to the top of the website, and we saw an 18% lift in conversions just from that simple change. So the next tweak follows the idea that people don't read, they scan. Statistically, people will only read 20% of the content on your website. The other 80% of the content, they just scan. And it's not hard to understand why. People have such low attention spans when they go on websites. They're merely just scanning through everything. They just want to find exactly what they're looking for as quickly and as efficiently as possible without having to sift through mountains of text or mountains of content and information. Your users have a certain cognitive threshold, right? The human brain can only process so many things at once without getting completely overwhelmed. So when you have too much content on your website and too much content on your webpage, it basically exceeds that level of cognitive threshold, right? The user just gets overloaded with info and they're probably going to exit the website completely. So for some examples, starting with what not to do first, right? A Gojj, when you go down on their site, you have these big blocks of text, right? No one is going to read this. The vast majority of people are just going to completely skim by this section. What we recommend is putting scannable icons, right? And changing that text into value props where people can quickly scan the information. So we did this for Wild Man Drinking, where we added these 6 value prop icons to the page, and it just allows you to digest the information a lot cleaner and a lot more simpler. A/B tested this, 33% increase in conversions just from that test. We also did this for Sumache. We added those 4 icons, value prop icons, to every single product so that people can digest the benefits of the product in a very simple format. For this one, we saw 23% increase in the conversion rate. The next tweak is fixing the above the fold area of your product page. Everyone likes to focus on that end goal or action, which is adding to cart or converting, but people often forget all of the steps that precede that. Using the analogy of crossing a river, for example, right? You can't just jump from one side to the other. You have to go on all of the logs and the pebbles or the rocks to get to the other side. And your website should be treated as the exact same. You can't just get somebody to go on your site and automatically convert. The way that you have to treat your website is that every section and every page of your site ultimately has a purpose in getting people to that end stage, right? It's a term that we call micro conversions, where we're just trying to get people to convert to get to that next stage. The home page, the purpose of that is to get people to the product page. The top part of the product page is to get people to the add to cart. The purpose of the cart is to get people to the checkout. The product page above the fold is one of the most important sections to get people to that next stage. This is the part where 60% of people will never end up scrolling past statistically. So for some examples, let's start with what not to do. With this website, you can see this product image is so vertical and it just takes up so much space that literally everything underneath it just gets pushed down. And I told you, right? 60% of people don't scroll past this section. So it's such a waste of real estate. This image could be shrunk down a lot more. It would push all of the content above, and the user would be presented with a lot more information and basically just not bounce or exit on the site. Here's another example where there's so much white space above and below the product. Guys, this is just such a huge sin. Please don't do this. Consolidate your information, clean up the white space, and just make sure that you're trying to present as much information as possible, especially on mobile, without overwhelming the user. So for an example of a site that does this well, you can see that they have all of this information above the fold, which is specifically the product image, the reviews above the fold, the product title, the price, the savings, the description. It's all consolidated and maximizing that above the fold space. The last tweak that's a no-brainer, and I can confidently say that after doing tons of CRO engagements and tons of website audits, this is the one thing that 90% of brands neglect and don't do for some reason. And that's writing high converting copy that sells. Your copy should clearly articulate your value prop. It should clearly articulate what makes you different from any other competitor in the marketplace. So many brands think that they operate in this bubble, right? That they're the only option for their audience. The thing is that people are getting bombarded with ads every single day, and there are literally so many options to choose from. So if you have generic copy on your site that just fails to explain what it is you actually do, how you actually help your end customer, it's just going to lead to a lack of conversions, right? Brands focus so much on the design part, and they kind of treat copy as an afterthought. And in 2024 and 2025 and beyond, you just can't do that anymore. Starting with examples of what not to do, when I go through this homepage on the site, every single headline headline doesn't really convey the benefit. It doesn't really convey the value prop whatsoever, right? Fuel your goje. I have no idea what that means. This is just a product title, nutrition for everybody. No idea what that means, right? Further down the page, there's just no value props whatsoever, right? There's nothing really gravitating me towards why should I purchase this product. In fact, it's not even the copy itself, it's just a lack thereof of sections altogether, right? This is another example, hero section, no idea what this means. All I know is you provide hemp products. I go down on the page, I see product, the Swallow Vivo difference. Again, I already know I'm on this website. What actually is the difference? Articulating that in the headline, product, and then reviews, and then there's nothing else, right? There's no really copy whatsoever telling me why should I purchase this product. Compare that to something like Moonpod, where every single headline is just carefully crafted and it's all conversion oriented, right? First, boom, right? As soon as I land on the site, comfort that's out of this world, right? And then the body text, upgrade your relaxation with Moonpod's famous zero gravity chairs, plus innovations for incredible sleep. So benefit oriented, so what's in it for me. And they've already explained what it is they actually do, and everything around this section and the copy, it complements the copy, right? The design and the copy go hand in hand. I can see the product on the right hand side. I can see that feeling of comfort and relaxation as they, sit on the gravity chair itself, and they have their social proof above the fold. I go down on the page, shop life-changing bestsellers, outrageous comfort, modern designs, right? And every other headline on the page is focused on the what's in it for me and the benefit, right? Comfort for your life, the completely reinvented beanbag, outrageous comfort, elevated relaxation, upgraded leisure, right? Hear from thousands of happy customers. Here's another example with Moonbrew. Better sleep starts here. All-in-one sleep support, right? And these are all further benefits of why I should purchase their product. Sharing love from 200,000 customers, your new nightly ritual, right? Focusing on that ritual aspect, that emotional aspect of, using this product in my day-to-day life. It's all just communicated effectively on not only their homepage, but every other page of their site. And there you have it, the 5 easiest CRO tweaks that you can use to increase your e-commerce sales overnight. You've got the blueprint, you know what works, and now it's time to put it into action. Knowing the tweaks is only half the battle. The real magic happens when you start applying these tweaks systematically across your entire funnel. So if you're serious about maximizing your store's revenue and turning it into a revenue magnet, my team and I will come into your business to optimize your conversions inside and out and take a full look at your funnel. Just like we did for Wildman Drinking, where we more than doubled their conversion rate, like we did for Parcel Safety, where we increased their conversions by over 100%, and like we did for Fiddler's Green, where we increased their store orders by 158%. Head over to thrillxdesign.com right now. We'll implement this exact CRO strategy completely done for you. Click the link in the description, check out our case studies, and book a call with me for a completely free audit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.